Have you ever had your side piece deliver your baby? I was 32 weeks pregnant when my water broke in the middle of a board meeting. As CFO of a tech startup, I'd hidden my pregnancy from investors, wearing loose blazers and scheduling virtual calls whenever possible. My husband Terrence was in Tokyo on business, unreachable. The only person I could call was Dr. Amara Okonkwo, head of obstetrics at Presbyterian Hospital, who also happened to be the woman I'd been having an affair with for the past year. It started innocently. Amara was my doctor first, assigned to me after my previous OB retired. She was brilliant, compassionate, and had this way of making me feel seen that Terrence hadn't managed in years. Our appointments went longer than necessary. She'd ask about my work, my dreams, my fears about motherhood. When she touched my stomach during exams, her hands lingered. The first kiss happened after a particularly emotional ultrasound where we found out the baby was a girl. I was crying, overwhelmed because Terrence had wanted a boy so badly he'd already painted the nursery blue. Amara held me, and suddenly we were kissing. We pulled apart immediately, both apologizing, both knowing we'd crossed a line that couldn't be uncrossed. But we kept crossing it. Late night texts about medical questions turned into conversations about everything. Coffee meetings to discuss birth plans became dinners. When Terrence traveled, which was constantly, Amara would come over. We'd lie in bed, her hand on my growing belly, talking about the future we could never have. "You need to tell him," she'd say. "After the baby comes," I'd promise. We both knew I was lying. Now, as I sat in the hospital prep room, contractions ripping through me 8 weeks too early, Amara walked in wearing her surgical scrubs. Her professional mask was perfect, but I saw her hands trembling as she checked my charts. "The baby's breech," she said quietly. "We need to do an emergency C-section. Dr. Patterson can take over if you'd prefer." "No," I gasped through another contraction. "I trust you." What I didn't say, "I need you." In the operating room, she had to maintain complete professionalism. Her team watched her every move, but when she said, "You're going to feel some pressure," her eyes met mine with all the tenderness she couldn't show. The surgery was complicated. The baby was smaller than expected, her lungs underdeveloped. As Amara worked to deliver my daughter safely, I heard her voice crack just once when she said, "Come on, little one." When they finally pulled my daughter out, she wasn't crying. The room went silent except for the machines. Amara handed her to the NICU team and returned to close my incision. Through the surgical drape, I couldn't see her face, but I heard her whisper, "She's a fighter, like her mom." Terrence arrived 12 hours later, frantic and apologetic. He held our daughter, all 2 pounds of her, and cried. He thanked Amara profusely, calling her a hero, not knowing she'd spent the previous night in our bed. Our daughter spent 6 weeks in the NICU. Amara wasn't technically her doctor, but she checked on her constantly. She'd text me updates during her rounds, little videos of the baby's improvements. Terrence thought it was above and beyond care. He brought her coffee and donuts, praising her to anyone who'd listen. One night, while Terrence was home sleeping, Amara found me in the NICU at 3 a.m., holding my daughter skin to skin. "We can't keep doing this," she said. "I know. I love you," she said, the first time either of us had said it out loud. "I know that too." She sat beside me, and we watched my daughter's tiny chest rise and fall. "I brought her into this world," Amara whispered, "and now I have to let you both go." "Why?" I asked, though I knew. "Because she deserves a family that isn't built on lies, and you deserve someone who can be fully present, not hiding in the shadows." Terrence never found out. Amara transferred to a hospital in Seattle the week after we brought our daughter home. She sent a congratulations card with the rest of the medical staff. Nothing special about it, except I knew she'd held it long enough to leave the faintest scent of her perfume. My daughter is 3 now, healthy, smart, stubborn as hell. Sometimes when she laughs, she tilts her head in a way that reminds me of Amara, which is impossible, just projection, but it stops my heart anyway. Last month, I was at a medical conference in Seattle for work. I didn't plan to see her, but there she was, presenting on high-risk pregnancies. She looked exactly the same. Our eyes met across the conference hall, and she smiled that professional smile that gave nothing away. Later, I got a text. "Coffee?" I deleted it without responding. Some stories don't get happy endings. Sometimes love isn't enough. Sometimes the most loving thing you can do is let go. My daughter has a stable home, 2 parents who love her, and no idea that the doctor who delivered her still sends anonymous donations to her college fund every year. Terrence thinks we were lucky to have such a dedicated doctor. He's right, just not in the way he thinks. Amara saved our daughter's life, and then she saved our family by walking away. That's the kind of love that doesn't get celebrated, the kind that chooses sacrifice over selfishness. I still wear my wedding ring. Terrence and I are working on us, really trying this time. But sometimes, when I'm alone in the NICU visiting for charity events, I remember those 6 weeks when the 3 most important people in my life existed in the same space, even if one of them had to pretend to be a stranger.